Welcome to Readability. I'm your host, Ashley Kelson. In Readability, we read all kinds of stories, from short storybooks to large chapter books. You could sit down with family or just lay back and relax. Every Saturday, we read, review, and recommend different books for your listening pleasure. I really hope you enjoy Readability. Let's get started. Hello, peeps! I'm your host, Ashley Kelson, and today I am continuing the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series. I am doing the Sea of Monsters with a friend of mine, Emma. She'll come in the review, in the next segment. If you haven't already, please go listen to episode 18, The Lightning Thief. It may spoil some things that are already mentioned, even in the main review that is free of spoilers. I love this book, and instead of just one review, you'll sort of have two. The more the merrier. Anyway, before we get into the review, let's meet our guest for today.
Okay.
Alrighty, you can introduce yourself, Emma.
Hello, my name is Emma. Ashley got me into reading the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series. As soon as I picked up the first book, I loved it. Over time, I grew fond of the books and continued reading the Percy Jackson-based books, like Percy Jackson. I'm thrilled that Ashley invited me to this episode.
Nice. Without further ado, let's get on to the review. After the mess of events in Rick Riordan's The Lightning Thief, now 13-year-old Percy Jackson finds himself in a new situation. At the beginning of the story, Percy finds out that his satyr friend Grover is in trouble. A lot of trouble. But I won't go into detail about that.
After the dream Percy has, we get introduced to his new friend Tyson. After a big dodgeball game happens, we finally saw Annabeth and were taken to Camp Half-Blood.
The reader finds out that something happened to Thalia's pine tree, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing Talia incorrectly. Also, if you read The Lightning Thief, then you already know who did it, but if not, keep reading.
Chiron explains that the only way to save Thalia's pine tree is to get the Golden Fleece, so Clarice, daughter of Ares, was sent on a quest to retrieve the Golden Fleece. Percy believes that he should retrieve the Golden Fleece. And guess what, folks? He ends up going with the club, Tyson and Annabeth.
On this adventure, the team goes through a lot of events, which we'll discuss later in the highlights segment. This book features a lot of action-packed and funny moments in the story. So, if you enjoy The Lightning Thief, you'll like The Sea of Monsters.
Rick Riordan gives us a fun and adventurous story with new and old characters we love. This story helps the Percy Jackson world become more realistic and fun to read about. His humor is as great as ever and makes this sad, scary, and fast-paced novel a perfect mix. It's a fantastic sequel and a great way to continue the series.
There are 279 pages.
There are 20 chapters in the book.
Same with The Lightning Thief. I'm not sure if this book has won any awards.
The author of the book is Rick Riordan.
And the publishing brand is Disney Hyperion. Okay, Emma, we're going to rate the book.
Alrighty, let's get to it.
I personally rate this book a 4 out of 5 stars, and I'll explain why after Emma says her rating.
I would also rate this book a 4 out of 5. I would rate this book a 4 because I like the action and suspense. It also keeps you on the edge of your seat. Now, why did you rate it a 4, Ashley?
Well, I rated a 4 because, as you mentioned, it was suspenseful and super funny. I personally like The Lightning Thief more than this one, but I still love The Sea of Monsters. That's really why I gave it a 4, and nothing more or less. I also agree with the reasons you gave. Let's see if we would recommend this book to others. Now, Emma, if you had to recommend this book to someone, would you?
Well, I would recommend the whole series for people to read. So technically, they would be reading this book as well. So yeah, I would recommend this book.
Yeah, I agree. But like The Reptile Room by Lemony Snicket, it really depends if they read and or enjoyed The Lightning Thief. If they did enjoy it, I would totally recommend this. If they didn't enjoy it, I would still think they should give it a shot. And overall, if they didn't read The Lightning Thief, I would recommend that book to them first, then The Sea of Monsters.
Yep, that makes sense.
This is where we spoil a lot. So please, if you haven't read The Lightning Thief or The Sea of Monsters, please go read it before listening to this part of the episode because we are going to be spoiling a lot of our favorite events from this book.
All right, here we go.
We find out that Tyson is a Cyclops, and this comes with some difficulties. Tyson and Percy's brothership is amazing and very well done. Great job, Rick. Percy starts to really care about how people thought about Tyson, a monster Cyclops, being his brother. Once Percy recognizes that Tyson's importance and what he does for Percy is really heartwarming. Emma, did you enjoy or wanted to mention anything about the book?
Yes, I agree with this very much. I also really like the character development in this book.
Mm-hmm.
You realize Clarice isn't that bad and that she can be nice too.
Yep.
In The Sirens, we also see a side of Annabeth that we haven't really seen before. We get to see their motives, and I think this is a book that really helps you get attached to the characters and understand why they're doing the things that they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. I also think that Riordan's idea of bringing Thalia back to life with the Golden Fleece was really helpful. We've heard so much about Thalia, or Talia, whatever you want to say, and what she did for her friends, and we finally get to meet her. Well, not in this book, but stay tuned for the Titan's Curse review.
I thought it was pretty funny how Grover was about to marry a Cyclops. Polyphemus believes that Grover is a lady and wants to marry him. Yes, Clarice does mess that up by correcting him, but oh well.
Yep, oh well. Another part that made me a little mad was how Chiron got fired. A new camp activities director, Tantalus, he allowed the chariot racing, but why? This did allow for a lot of Percy and Annabeth friendship and growth between Percy and Tyson, but still, this was a very interesting thing to add in this book, and an interesting character to add. And speaking of characters, yay, it's time to mention our character thoughts. Ready, Emma?
Of course.
I'll go first. I thought that throughout the book, Percy and Annabeth start to form a stronger friendship, and they become better friends. For example, the siren scene, Percy shows that he really does care about Annabeth, and he uses his powers to save her. Also, at Cece's spa and resort, Annabeth goes out of her way and saves Percy. What did you think, Emma?
Yeah, I thought it was funny that Rick Riordan included Hermes. Yes, he did help Percy, but also George and Martha, the two snakes on Hermes' Caticus.
Yeah, I don't know how it's pronounced. Yeah, they were really funny. I love them so much. Well, Emma, let's talk about our least favorite and favorite characters.
Though we might be mad at Clarice, no doubt she is a hero in this book. She brought back the Golden Fleece, thanks to Percy, and helped save the crew. So she may be my favorite character in this book.
Oh, nice. I agree with the points you made about Clarice. My favorite character will always be Annabeth, but I really thought Tyson was a great companion and character overall. His growth with Percy was very well done, and he's just a great and kind character. My least favorite character was Tantalus. It's pretty obvious why, but he just messes everything up. Well, thank you, Emma, for joining me on this week's episode. It was really fun, and I hope the listeners enjoyed.
Of course. Thank you for inviting me. It was really fun. I hope people love and read the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series.
Same here. Alrighty, folks. Here is our official readability ending. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me, your host, Ashley Kelson, on Readability. It has been a really great time, and I hope you join me again next week. Remember, every Saturday we either read, review, or recommend a book for your listening pleasure. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Keep reading, folks. Bye!